Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Tip of the Week video here in my Language Facilitation Resources group, and also to all of you who are watching me on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. These Tip of the Week video that I do every week are designed with specific strategies to help parents see some real results with language facilitation with your kiddos, things that you can dig in and get going and try now. So again, thanks for joining me. My name is Marcy Melzer, and I am an intuitive speech and language pathologist, and it is my mission to help as many parents as possible teach your late talking children how to use the words they need to share their wisdom with the world. I know that there's kids out there who are nonverbal, who are doing all kinds of nonverbal communicating with their parents, and I know a lot of you parents are here in this group. So it's really, really important that I'm so glad that you're here and you've joined me. But I also really want you to understand that there could be things that are going on in your world that you're doing that aren't helping you teach your child. They're not helping your child use their best communication. The reality kind of what happens with late talking kids, with a lot of kids, but especially with late talking kids, is that they save their best speech and language for people other than the people who care for them most, or provide their care for them, I guess I should say. So it doesn't necessarily have to be mom, but most of the time it's mom. But sometimes it's dad, or sometimes, especially if your child spends a lot of time with a grandparent or a caregiver, those people also really establish that tight bond with kids. And those are the people who your child is used to using their nonverbal communication with. So those people who care for your child the most, including you learn to understand their language, whatever they're using, whatever it is. And even if it is, if you're watching this video, it's probably not because it's the best verbal language, that speech and language that you hope for them. And it could be, like many of the parents in my program, that their kids will use amazing speech when they're at school or at therapy, that they'll try their best articulation or they'll try those things, but they always don't, they don't do it for mom. And it's because, like I said, they know you're the safety net. They know you're the one to try to do it. So the thing is, you are the one, those people who do care for the kids the most, the ones that they resist using their best speech for most because those other things are easier. These are the strategies that you folks need, because other people have it easy. Your kid knows that they don't understand their nonverbal stuff, and they know that you do. So here's what you're going to do to try to get into helping your child get over that frustration. The first thing that you need to think about, in order to do anything at our best, right? It has to feel right to us. It has to feel good. It has to feel purposeful. It has to feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, you're not going to do your best. You're always going to be skeptical, or, just a little bit weary, maybe not confident. If it doesn't feel right to you, you're not going to put in your best effort. It doesn't matter what it is. If, you're learning math and the teacher teaches you a new way to do math and you're like, that doesn't feel right to me, you're not going to focus. You're not going to work hard. So whatever you're asking your child to do or learn has to feel right in your heart. And that means it has to feel right for your child, but it also has to feel right for you. So, the thing is, there are a million different tips and tricks and things that people do to try to pull language out of their kids. They put things out of reach. They listen to their therapists and they do what their therapists are doing. And that's all well and good, and it might work for the therapist, but it might not necessarily work for you. So if you're trying something, because some of that stuff might work great, so you should do it if it feels good, right? If it feels right and it feels good, do it. But if it doesn't, bag it. Give it up. things that you, give it a try. It depends on what it is, of course. If it is language facilitation and you're modeling the right words the right way at the right time and your child's not getting it, then you might need guidance in how to be doing that modeling, because kids always get it if you get it in their radar, right? So the most important thing about any strategy that you use, language facilitation, sign language, PECS, ABA, any of the stuff that your speech therapist told you to do, choices, all that stuff, you have to feel right about doing it. And you feel right when it works, right? So if you keep trying at something over and over and over again, a strategy someone gave you, and you're like, I'm trying this. Every time he brings me the thing, I wait until he says the word, and then I give it to him. And he will say it when I tell him, but whatever. And it's happening and it's working, but it doesn't feel right. Like, it might be working, but it's only really working then because your child is doing it to make you happier to get the thing. They're not doing it because they want to say those words. So whatever you're doing to try to get your child to work has to feel good, not only for you, but for your child. So, for example, if your child brings you the cookies and you won't open the cookies until your child says cookies, that doesn't feel very good to your child. Like, they know they want a cookie. They brought it to you. And in fact, if you're willing to give it to them and you don't, they think you're just being mean, right? Why wouldn't you give me the thing that I want? So those kinds of strategies don't feel good. You might need to get some other strategies to help you go, to help you see some success. So that's the second thing, is that, all right, so whatever you're doing isn't working and you need to make a shift. And maybe you've watched my other videos and you want to try to introduce new toys or do things like that. The thing is, you have to make whatever you try, even if it's language facilitation, so easy that your child will be motivated to try it. So if it's not fun because it's new, maybe your child doesn't like it because it's new, and that's valid. Sometimes we don't like new things and we have to experience them first. Then you have to present that thing. If that's your child's issue, they don't like new things, then whatever you do present that's new, because remember, what you're doing now isn't working and you have to present something new, because otherwise you won't see change, right? So in order to see change, you have to present something new. And in order to present something new, it has to feel good at the time you are presenting it. So let's say you have a new book you want to try to explore with your child, and your child doesn't even like books, right? But you've got a little book with a few pages and a few pictures and a topic that they like. Maybe they like trains or animals, and you get a train or animal book, and you want to show it to your child and you want to introduce it. It has to be the easiest, most gentle, feel-good way to introduce that new thing so that you can stay in the zone of feeling good about the activity. Because if your child is at that stage where they are avoiding you teaching, like every time you bring a book or a puzzle or something like that for them to play with, they go and run the other direction, or they don't want to do it their way. Sometimes that happens because kids are burnt out on ABA work at home or at school all day, or maybe they just don't like that prompting because they know that you understand and they're set in communicating their own way. So I've done other videos about how to get your child to engage with you, but the gist of it, the basic thing about it, is that you need to present it in a way that is interesting and engaging and super easy and feels good to your child. So you present a book that they love, that's real simple, that you're going to do with them. You don't expect them to sit with you for an hour with that book, or even 10 minutes, or even 5 minutes. You expect them to sit for 2 minutes and be happy with that engagement, because it's good engagement. So 30 seconds of amazing contact and focus feels way better than 5 minutes of struggle to get your child to sit at a chair, right? To read the same book. You could have the same book and get 30 seconds of great, or even 5 seconds of great if you start. I mean, it all depends on what level you are. But you have to start by getting your child engaged at a level that you can have success. And that's the third thing that I wanted you to think about. It has to have results that you feel. So it's like the first time a child spouts out a word, you were like, wow, there are words in there. Encouragement, enlightenment, happy energy, good energy. That feels great. And it makes you want to get more. It makes you want to try more. He said, yay. He sang the ABC songs. He said, mama, all that stuff you get super excited about, right? That's the motivation. That's the kinds of results you want to feel tangibly with your child, because it is that feeling that keeps them going. And it's the feeling of dejection and fighting and resistance that keeps them stuck, right? What makes us motivated is stuff that feels good to us. I am super motivated to eat ice cream every time it's presented to me. I am not so motivated to eat kale salad. You know what I mean? I like it. It's okay. It tastes all right. But I am a lot more motivated to eat ice cream. And I'm a lot more motivated to eat kale salad when it has a yummy dressing and raisins in it. You know what I mean? So there are ways to dress up anything that you are presenting your child that you know is right for them, that you want them to do. So kale salad's a great example. You know what I mean? We eat it because we're supposed to. It's good for us and whatever, but it is way more yummy when there's like goat cheese and craisins and a yummy balsamic vinaigrette. Like that makes you want to eat kale, right? Because it's got all these other things that make it fun and feel good and yummy in my tummy and makes me want to eat a big old kale salad. And then I get the benefits of the kale too. So making things easy, presenting things in a way that feel good to your child, and literally bagging it if it doesn't work, because you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time, and you're creating those feelings. You're creating those feelings that keep your kiddo stuck. You're not generating the happy, motivated, successful feelings that can come from a fleeting eye contact or 30 seconds of book time or whatever, because those little bits add up. And with language facilitation, if you're doing language facilitation throughout your child's day and you are presenting them with the right words, the right way, at the right time, that apply to the situation, that help them connect in a way that they can focus on you, right? That's what language facilitation is. That's all it is. The right words, the right way, the right time, in their radar. I always say late talkers have blinders. And as they learn more language, their blinders get big, but some kids have very tight blinders. You know, it's just like, you know, they get really tight. So that's the thing. When you get going with your child and you start to see the super fun in things and you keep doing those fun things, then your kiddo's like, all right, I like it when mom works with me. I don't want to run away from this anymore because this feels good. But that pressure, that withholding, that stuff, you know, sometimes in ABA, they say that if your child is having a meltdown, that you ignore that behavior, because a lot of times with reinforcement type things, you know, if your child's having a meltdown and you go and you respond to that meltdown, it teaches them that they're using that meltdown as a communication, and you're reinforcing it in a positive way by, you know, making them feel better. But that doesn't feel good to the child, and that certainly doesn't feel good to a lot of moms. So if it's a behavior thing that's going on with your child, then you definitely want to think about the feelings around the whole situation, your feelings, your child's feelings, because at the stage of change, when you have to shift something as fundamental as communication, like the way I let you know I need you, you're telling me to shift here. This is what's coming from your kids, right? Like, it's worked for my whole life this way, mom, and now you want me to do something different? Well, it better be fun, easy, happy, and safe, right? Or they're not going to do it. So the way to get your kids to work their best, to try their best, to make little improvements every day, is by modeling the right words the right way at the right time, and encouraging your child to participate with you while they learn, and thinking about those feelings, keeping the feelings in the positive, happy vibes. And anytime those negative, low feelings, stuff that makes your gut hurt, that makes your head hurt, that, you know, the screaming, the stuff like that, anytime that stuff pops up, just kibosh it and feel good. whatever you got to do to feel good without using a tangible thing, okay? Try to make your child feel good with you, because just feeling better, the act of helping your child feel better themselves, like, look, you don't have to have a tantrum because I didn't understand that you wanted to watch Peppa Pig today. You don't have to have a tantrum, dude. I'm sorry I didn't understand. It is a bummer that I can't understand you, but now I know that you want Peppa Pig, so let's watch Peppa Pig. Or we can't watch Peppa Pig because we have to go bye-bye, or whatever. Acknowledge those feelings in your kiddos, because they are frustrated. If they're using nonverbal communication, especially if they're older than 3, their ideas in their head are way beyond what they've got for vocabulary nonverbally, guaranteed. And they're frustrated because you can't read their mind fast enough, right? And so you want to quit reading their mind, show them the words that are going on in their mind. And then the last tip that I have for you before I go actually comes from one of my Language Facilitator moms. So her little guy has words. Well, he didn't use very many of them before because his speech is very hard to understand. So he pretty much just shut down, which is what happens to a lot of kids. If they, have ear infections or whatever it is that causes their speech, like maybe they are trying to use words, but nobody can understand what they say except for mom. Maybe they're not using anything but vowels. And only moms understand. When that kind of stuff happens, kids tend to be very, again, it doesn't feel good to talk to other people because other people don't understand them, so it shuts them down and they quit using words altogether. And this mom, she started facilitating language with her kiddo, focusing on using the right words the right way at the right time and throughout her day. And her little guy has really improved his speech because she doesn't sit and do drill cards or work on oral motor things or anything. She just shows her child how to use more careful speech in shorter phrases and careful talking, and using some of the strategies that we have that she can use while she's in the middle of cooking, playing games, whatever. And her little guys like to do a lot of pretend play. They make up stories and do a lot of cool things, and they like to cook together and do all kinds of stuff. So this mom really focused on her own speech and showing her child the kind of speech he needs. And so that's how they practice every day over and over again. And she does a little bit every day whenever she can. And she's not sure exactly what's going on with progress, but once in a while, something happens that shows her how much progress he has. Because remember, kids only use their best speech for other people than moms, so moms don't always get to see it. But her little guy woke up yesterday ready to go with a game he said he called Office Meeting. So from the time they got out of bed, because this mom's been doing nice language facilitation literally all day during all their activities, she's figured out how to get her kiddo to focus on her words, and she's demonstrating exactly what she wants to hear from him. And he's pulling it out. He's doing great. He doesn't always imitate her in the moment. She just models and facilitates this language. And so yesterday, he woke up and said, I want to play Office Meeting. And of course, what he wanted to be was the boss, right? He wanted to be the CEO. So his game of Office Meeting made sure everybody had what they needed at the breakfast table. He gave them all their equipment. He gave them all things to do, and he told them what he wanted them, where everything was. He directed the whole process, his Office Meeting. They did it at the table. They all sat together. It's a nice big family. So what this Office Meeting game, and of course his mom was thrilled because she's like, Marcy, it was the best speech I ever heard. He was in charge and bossing us around and telling us what to do. Every little thing had its whatever, and he made sure that his mom sat right next to him so that he could boss her around too and tell her what was going on. So that's what I always tell parents, be careful what you wish for, because by empowering kids to feel super good about their speech and learn the tools over and over and over time, watching you demonstrate the right kind of speech for them to use, when you do that kind of demonstration, and your kids will pick it up because you make sure they can follow you, and when they do, then they pull it out on their own. And what a fabulous example for this mom of progress. She's like, I don't know where this speech came from, but suddenly my kiddo was using clear speech with everybody at the table and telling us exactly what to do. And it was because he was motivated, he felt confident, he felt fun, and he like woke up thinking about it. He might have even had a dream overnight about being the boss, being the CEO of this family, of this big family he's got, and ordering everybody around and telling him what to do, and what kind of success he felt when everyone followed his directions and he got to be the boss and they did whatever. And if they didn't like it, he was able to negotiate and talk with them just like at an office meeting. So I encourage you to play office meeting, office boss, office whatever, because the boss, the director of the show, if you're doing a play, the writer of the story, all of those people, the voice of the videos. Like I've got another mom whose kiddo likes to make videos on YouTube, or not YouTube, on PowerPoint. He does all the animations and makes it itself and makes the video, and he does the voice for the video. This was a nonverbal kiddo who didn't use words with anybody, but it's what makes him feel empowered is he creates these videos, and other people love these videos that he makes, of course, and his mom loved the games that this other little office meeting guy did. So the thing is, it's all about, like I said, when I talk about if it isn't fun, it isn't fun, that's just not some catchphrase. It is serious, because if it isn't fun, it isn't fun. And if you're a child and you need to make fundamental changes in the way you communicate, which is so huge, the way you get what you need, the way you communicate your feelings, if you have to make a change in that, it has to be a graceful, gradual, movable change that you can facilitate with your child so that the new language comes from them. They're communicating their feelings, they're showing you their strengths. You know, I talk about how parents a lot of times test their kids all day long by asking them questions. What are you doing? Where did you put that thing? It's all obvious stuff that the child's doing right there. I mean, the child's sitting there coloring and the mom walks in and says, what are you doing? Well, the child's coloring. They're like, Mom, don't you have eyes? Can't you see this? But the parents ask questions because they're trying to facilitate their child to say language. And that might work at school or in therapy, but it doesn't work at home. The child knows you're smart enough to observe and understand them. So in order to empower them, to really get them to be the boss of their own speech and run the meeting of their life, because kids will, like I said, they'll use this careful talking with their friends when they're bossing them around on the playground. They'll use them with their teachers when they're telling them what they want in the classroom, because they know their teacher needs them to use the best speech. It's all about that. Allowing your child to see the expectations of the speech and language that you want to hear from them, seeing it over and over and over again, and encouraging them to use it and reinforcing it when they do. Wow, you are the boss. You told me what to do. I understand you. That kind of reinforcement is so empowering for kids. Who doesn't want to be the boss? Who doesn't want to tell people what to do? And in fact, most of you, your late talkers are already the boss. They're telling you what to do. They're just not using words. So when you empower them to use words, then, like I said, be careful what you wish for, because they could be ordering you around all day and trying to be the boss. And that's a good problem to have, but it still is a problem, something you need to think about too. All right, so those were your tips for empowering your late talker to use their best speech and language, no matter what it is, if they're at basic level, if they're at sentence level, if they're doing whatever they are, at whatever level they are in their language facilitation journey. And what I do for a living is I help parents all along that journey. I hold your hand, I give you the strategies you need, and I even help you how to ride out the waves, the ups and downs that happen in the whole journey of language development. because it's not a linear route for sure. It always happens with ups and downs, and that's why it's called the waves of communication. And if you want to know all the strategies you need to help not just you, but everyone on your child's team, their school, their ABA therapists, their other therapists, their speech OTs, behavior therapists, anybody who's working with your child, in addition to you, daycare providers, grandmas and grandpas, you can get all the strategies you need to get your whole team together, facilitating natural language for your child. And with that kind of a team effort, that's what's happening in my program, and parents are seeing remarkable success. So I hope this is helpful information for you, that you can get going, empower your child to use their best speech and language, verbal speech that you want to hear. And the way to do that is with language facilitation. Thank you again for joining me, everybody. If you are watching this on the replay, please hit the like button. Give me an emotion. I love it when things get shared like that. So share videos like this to your friends. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, please. That really, really helps me. And the little bell icon will let you be notified anytime I go live and upload a video on YouTube. All right, thanks so much. There's also going to be some exclusive content coming up in March just on YouTube. So if you're watching this on Facebook, you might want to join the YouTube channel anyway, because there could be exclusive content over there that you might miss. Stuff's going up everywhere. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining me today. I really look forward to seeing you again on my next live video, which is going to be a live Q&A. I always do a live Q&A every week too. So if you have questions, look for my post your questions there, and join me live to ask me questions about your late talker. All right, everybody. I will see you all on my next live video. Have a great day.